Yeah, it's the Rockett Rant, baby. Yeah, it's on a Friday. Yeah, yeah, we're live right here. Phone calls from my niggas on the other side. Two childhood friends just died. I couldn't cry. A damn shame. When will we have changed? No couple names from a 12 gauge to the brain. Arguments with my foolish crew. I spend more time with my niggas than I do with you. But everywhere it's the same thing. That's the game. I'll be damned if the thing change. Fuck the fame. I'll be hustling to make a million. Lord knows ain't no love for us ghetto children. So we cold rag top slowing down. Time to stop the gas. Be my home for a hoochie with a proper ass. It ain't easy. That's my mama drinking Tanqueray straight out the bottle. Everybody wanna know if I'm insane. My baby mama got a mind full of silly games, and all the drama got me stressing like I'm hopeless. I can't hold me in the home smoking roaches, cause we broke late night, hanging out till the sunrise, getting high, watching the cops roll by. It ain't easy. Yeah. All right. It's the Bils podcast show. Give it up. The Bill podcast show. I'm your boy Rockett. What up? My boy Pitch couldn't be here today. He's out of town on some very, very much needed family time. So shout out to them, the family, much love. And my boy Wendell Scott, he's not here. He's out doing his thing as well. So shout out to them. They I don't know if my level's right. I'm putting it out there. You know, I worry about my lighting. Can you see this? I worry about the background. You know, you got the Father's Day Rockett trophy. Ain't nobody ever had that. So that shout out to me. And shout out to my baby girl that made that. You know what I'm saying? She got my heart. And then, of course, I'll be remiss if not directly behind me, we got the lovely San Francisco 49er jersey. They had that black joint. That's still my favorite right there because, you know, always bet on black. Shout out to my boy Kaepernick, always and forever. But, yeah, my Niners, we 8-0. I think this day is aligned because my boys, you know, it was a buzzsaw, but they pulled it out last night after they put up some basketball numbers on some other team. Shout out to them and everything. But yeah, my Niners, they want all that smoke. That defense was rocking last week. That run game was rocking last week. The defense was rocking and everything. So we was moving along, but I was scared because we was coming up against Arizona. And Arizona, they all right. I don't even think we can pause this. Hold on. Hello? I don't know. Why, what's up? Okay. Yeah, I know. You're going up to Whitewater. I don't know yet, but I'll move them. Okay. All right, bye. All right. This is live. This is going down. Back to my 49ers. Yeah, we put up nice numbers. I was, you know what? That's the first game that I saw a perfect offense from my Niners since days. Because I wasn't sold on Shanahan. You know, to me, it's like, hell, I feel I can coach a team. I can come up with plays, but that's just how I'm wired. You know, but I wasn't sold on. But this year, I'm sold on Shanahan. I watched his daddy, who was an offensive coordinator for my Niners back in the 90s. That's when we won the Super Bowl back in 95 and everything. So I know he had the pedigree, but yeah, you know,
I don't care about all that. It was like, you got to prove it to me. So, and John Lynch, I thought he was like more like a weasel, like he was gonna fuck us up, but I think he dug in his bag of tricks because he was a hell of a player. So I ain't gonna be that way. I'm still kind of salty at him for the Kaepernick thing. I think they could have capped him. That's just my opinion. I ain't changing that for nobody. You know, because I'm a fan of the game, a fan of Kaepernick, and I do sit back and think what Kaepernick could have done with that offense that he once had, and that not only that defense, but just the wide receiver. Yeah, everybody they watching these sportcasters and everything. We have a hell of a wide receiver game, even before Emmanuel Sanders got there. Now, I do believe that he added a certain level to the game because, I think he was just coached and groomed and it shows. He's a Pro Bowler, Super Bowl ring, and it makes it seem like he just been there since day one. That's what it feels to me. So, I'm sold on it. And Garoppolo, he sold me yesterday. I saw some of those tight passes and how he was flicking them and he was keeping that ball. Man, he was letting that joke fly. It was like, I don't even see he was fully extended. And it was like he was like, pew, and that ball was flying low and accurate. So I think I've saw his best game. I've followed him a little when he was in, I think he came out of UCF. Yeah. Central Florida. Shout out. My cousin went there. But yeah, that's it. Rocking with my Niners. We back on here, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little mature now, so I'm not predicting nothing other than what me and my line brother, we bet that if because he's a Rams fan and he wouldn't answer my call when the Niners was whooping on that ass. He told me they was gonna lose, but when they didn't, he ain't answer that call because I had some words for him. But hey, you know what? Don't live in the past. We moving forward. We need to because we got the Seahawks and there's a little bit stigma there. It's a little bit, like fear or history. There's some fear there. No, we're at home, but they have dominated my Niners for quite some time. But that defense, them some dogs. Richard Sherman, shout out to Richard Sherman, who I have not been a fan of, but this year I've seen last year, that Achilles, it takes they say it takes a year here, but I really believe because that dude is back to balling. I'm just saying he's a mental. It was rough for us. Hell, cost us a Super Bowl ring. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna bring that up. Listen here. I just wanted to start this show kind of like my way because once again, it's Rockett Rant. It's the Bill podcast. Please click, subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know how I look, how I'm rolling, what I'm drinking here. This is old clearance beer. I go to the discount and this be on clearance and the ingredients look good and I'm gonna roll with it. So clearance beer. But it's all right. It's a nice 6.3% alcohol. So anyway, I'm here by myself. I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit more structured. I remember the last Rockett Rant, I was all over the place, but this is what you get. This is what you come to see for all those that are watching or will watch. And you gotta get the best of me. So you're gonna get the raw, authentic. Authentic. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put that into pudge management. All right. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things that I feel it is very important that as a black man, and what this podcast podcast represent is that we talk about what affects Black folks here in America, from a ground zero level. Every Black man that's still out there struggling, this is always ground zero because we're looking at it in real time. And when it happens, as it happened, or even trying to prepare or, to make sure it doesn't happen. So we're always in an active mode, or we should always be. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right there. I just want to get more to this week. Byron Allen, he's like he started out as a comedian, but he's the guy that he's the Black that owns the Weather Channel. He was on the Breakfast Club show. And that was a powerful interview. I thought it should have went a lot longer. I thought Charlemagne and everybody, they should have brought a little bit more out about just some of the things that he was saying. Because I think they kind of glassed over it and they was like looking for the money and shit. I'm gonna look to Byron. And it was like, that's where you missing at. You was like, oh, I want to get this contact. It was like, I want to be right with you because shit, he's making money, but other than that, he talked about, he's suing Comcast and Charter. So these are these conglomerates, these are the mind controllers. So all of the sports network stories and everything, HBO and all of it, they kind of control that and everything, the cable networks, So I call them the mind controller because they constantly pumping fuck shit in your head. So you got to just be aware of that, message. Anyway, he's suing them. They're going before the Supreme Court November 13th. And, I named this this episode Rockett Rant 3, but, Mansa Musa, because you got this Black man who was born in America, just saw shit different and made it happen. He started out as observational comics, but he positioned himself to buy the Weather Channel for $300 million. Somehow he connected with himself with a lot of folks, and he made a lot of money. He started his own, just right here, right in his very own home, just as I'm doing. So, I mean, it was inspirational to me, but it was more also educational because I didn't know with the lawsuit that's going to go in front of the Supreme Court November 13th, how deep it was. I knew about the Civil Rights Act of 1866, but then one thing I don't, and I still don't know, is the depth of it. But now, because it was like the circuit court, Byron, he won his case twice in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I don't know. That I'm a little bit limited in all that structure. I just know municipal court, county court, Supreme Court. All that in between court, I'm gonna have to develop that muscle a little bit more. So I apologize for my ignorance, but it's duly noted. Now back to what I was talking about. More importantly, it's about the Civil Rights Act could revoke like our legal status as non-whites, or nowadays it's called minority. Now this is very tricky. This has very tentacles because the definition, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 really applied to African Americans that was freed back in 1865. So this is the part of the civil rights is that we would have equal opportunity for government contracting and commercial contracting. So that's why Byron Byron won that lawsuit, and it was supposed to pay out $20 billion, but you know, they take it to the Supreme Court because they trying to stack in their favor because nobody want to shell out $20 billion. But he's still willing to sit down and cancel the whole thing just so they can partner up on some deals. But they got racial, that's really the driver. It's racism. They don't want somebody that's not them becoming as rich as them or richer. And that's why I say Mansa Musa, because, you know, this guy's out here balling. He tell you just like it is. Like, I don't want to play in the Negro League. It's like, I'm black, but I'm a businessman first. I'm just somebody, I just happen to be black. You know, it doesn't define me. I'm motivated outside of my skin, outside of my culture. So I thought, you know, it was like those things is like, I think that we don't think about. I think we think about them, but we don't think about them as in a way that it really blocks us from getting money, because it's like, I think we as black people, we put ourselves in a mental block. Like, no, I'm not crossing over on that path. I don't care how much money is over there. I'm not doing that. You know, when you think about somebody, think about a black person that's getting paid to celebrate and push for Trump. You know, now the crazy thing is, if it's money over there, people that's about that money, they're going to go and get it. But, and you'll have a very few black people that will go over there and they'll get that money. And that's that mental ball. Like, that's that, I call it a black code. It's just that I can't rock with it. You know, it's like one of my people's like, now how I'm going to feel. But you're going to have some money. You know, it can move you into a better position than you were. So you can't sell that black. Well, you can sell it, but, you know, everybody can't rap that's black. Everybody can't hoop that's black. So, you know, but those are the things that blocks us from, and I'm not pro-Trump, I'm just throwing that out there to try to make my point that it is difficult, you know, but we got to be willing to play the game. And back to Byron K, this dude is playing the game. He's playing the game like hard, because they didn't like what the Ninth Court decision that was in Byron's favor. They said, we're going to take this to the Supreme Court, and they have so they have 30 minutes to each to debate their side. They're going to give 10 minutes to Bill Barr, motherfucking DOJ. Now, if that ain't unethical and immoral, and just straight up slime, that just some, you know, it's like you're seeing the wicked guy in those cartoons, and you know, he's real skinny legs with the real pointy shoes, and he's lurked over like he's about, you know, he's stealing everything. That's what we're looking at, just from the president, and you know, the DOJ, shit, the Senate, all of them. Throw them all in there. You know, I ain't got time to be picking meat out of my teeth after I eat. It's just in there, something to suck on later. But you know, that's what I think we're looking at here. It's like the fact that they cool with that. The fact that you don't care that history is gonna judge him like that. You know, it's like, dang, dude. Like, what is his limit? That you're going to argue against something that could legally roll back equity, equality, even though they don't act on it. It's like now, but it's like, Even though we don't show you equality, guess what? We still want to roll that rule back. So then, even when we fuck you, we don't have to say I'm sorry or be threatened to pay you because we will never say I'm sorry. That's what it is. So you got Bill Barr up here who's gonna argue in the defense of racism that Comcast and Charter is spruing out because they don't want to help a businessman who just happened to be black make money. You know, it's not that the deal is bad, it's just who's on the other side of the deal. And now they're gonna make money too. Because best believe they're gonna make money too. But that's where capitalism stops. So you gotta ask yourself in this whole thing right here, and we will see. This is the perfect question. Is racism bigger than capitalism? Because the Supreme Court, who agrees with the Ninth Circuit Court, who and this is some technical shit. This is some like, you know, space age pimp shit right here. It's like a movie is gonna be made about this, and everybody be like, whoa, we was just that close to being fucked. Now I don't know that if we are fucked or not, we shall see. But I do think, and this is my belief, maybe it's hope, si se puede, shout out to Obama, but I do believe that the Supreme Court will throw that out after they hear the arguments. I'm curious to hear the arguments, you know, but I do believe that at the end of the day, because here's one thing. Judge Thomas, who is a Republican, who has a stigmatism of not liking black folks. You know, I say stigmatism because I don't believe it's true. I just, you know, maybe he doesn't like the culture, but you know, we as American, we can be very harsh, even on, especially black on black. You know, but he's white protected, so we just talk about him from the far. You know, when you Supreme Court and you Republican, you white protected, like Condoleezza Rice, white protected. Ben Rice, yeah, he's white protected, but Ben Carson, who I meant to speak of, white protected. Omarosa used to be white protected. Now she's just a nigga and hide, but she pops out every now and then to sell a book or stick it at Trump. So you, even though you hate her, you still gotta love her. That's just my opinion. I mean, you know, wish no harm. I'm just speaking my piece because all of this is tying back to Byron Allen and all the corruption that's going on, and what he's fighting for is equality. Now the crazy thing is, getting back to the civil rights of 1866, is that when you think about that, who is the new minority? And he even said it. He said, white women, they're minorities. So if this roll back, this is gonna roll back women's right just as well, because now non-white is minority. So then you have gay people, you have yeah, those are the other, and black people, Hispanics, Native Americans, not Native Americans. Theirs was wrote out in separate ones, but I don't know. That is a question though. Are Native Americans considered to be minorities? Which I think is. Now, if we want to get into words that we should ban, minority is one. So forgive me for saying it, but to that whole point, when you say when you represent yourself, or you literally put yourself as the minority, as a minority, not just because you're smaller in the pie being divided, but you say it as in a subclass standard. You know, even when you say disenfranchised, I think, it's like, other than, you know, I'm a Black American, I'm an African American, I'm a Black, that's it. I'm not a minority, I'm not disenfranchised. All of those things do not represent me as a subgroup, that makes up the American population. I'm a Black man, just straight like that, you know. But anyway, getting back, this dude. So I'm very interested to see what the Supreme Court is going to decide after. I want to hear the arguments, because when every time when racist white folks argue for racism, that's when you got to open your mind and see where is racism being applied to you, because every day when you wake up and you go outside, no, just every day when you wake up, you are impacted by racism, even in your own home, because of once again those mental blocks that I talk about, certain things that we don't do just because it's Black stigmatic. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and do that, if you don't want to, but I'm just saying that we collectively, even though we don't want to think of ourselves as a monolith, but we should, because we should organize. And boom, getting just a side note, I do believe that there should be a secretary, just like there's a Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, there should be a secretary for African Americans, straight like that. And I would like someone such like Byron Allen. I got a few more people on my list that I think would be great. I think that would be great leaders for the Black people. And the purpose of that would be to, really just push for equality. I think when you're stamping a label of secretary that rolls with his own people, got their own lawyer, got that bag, and go after these corporations and these organizations that really have, and the job is to really get to the root of the racism that still exists to the day that we don't even know about, that we're conditioned. We as Black people, we're conditioned to accept racism, and white people in America are conditioned to give and display racism, and they don't know it. And we feel it, but then we don't. Either we speak on it. I think we challenge it when it's deliberate. I think sometimes we don't challenge it because we don't know how to talk about it or how to define the racism part of it. And it could be something genuine, but that person is just as ignorant because of the conditioning that America has put all of us through. But we all need to learn that. So there's just a lot of it's a very powerful interview. And then I followed up because he bought the grid, which I hurried up to subscribe, and I'm gonna start also watching, because I love anything that's Black owned, Black push, because to me it has a true Black agenda. A lot of times when you have like BET, that was bought out by Viacom, and Rob Johnson is no longer there. It was like the Black content to me is not authentic. It's really another mind. It's really another tool to minds to keep us locked into what they say and ignore what they do. And if you think about it, that's the real Matrix. So boom, there you go. Anyway, I had some more stuff to talk about, but I like that Byron Allen, because it's like freedom is not free. We gotta constantly be remind. Well, we gotta constantly remind ourselves. So that's why, when I think of all of these things, I was thinking about how we can build our own, and but we need to look outside of what is set in for. That's why I talk about, if you're a sports athlete, you know, that should be your focus in majoring, in the classes you should that you're taking should be around that degree program, because that's where you spend most of your time. That's where you're going to school. That's your true passion. And just because you're not, um, and it's discriminatory, because you can be good at one thing, because college and university really is not just elevating your mind, but also elevating your body. And sometimes your body is stronger than your mind, but you have a gift, you know. And what it does is it's a reverse way, because you can become good at whatever sport that you're doing, and then your mind is going to take over, and you're going to start seeing things, you're going to start doing things, that because your mind is going to mature and catches up. So then that's when that equates to, that's when the game slows down, because your anticipation, due to trial and error and muscle memory and all of that, all of that stuff just locks in, and then you're in sync, and boom, you've mastered whatever that is. No different than fencing, no different than playing music, singing, no different than, you know, debating. There's just no different. When you master something, there's a certain confidence that is unshakable, and that's across all boards, where there's academics, or where there's athletics, where there's entertainment. But the major point is that because your time is like limited now, like athletes, they have to split their time not only to a degree program, but then they have to go and perform freely. I may add you, which I guarantee you they spend more time doing that than they do studying or going to class, because of the demand, not because of the and but you know you do a survey, and I guarantee you, those college students said, if I had an opportunity to skip like trigonometry, I'm just throwing that out there, because you know if I had the opportunity to skip my trigonometry class or my physics class to do training or whatever, would you? They're gonna say yes, because the whole thing is probably their love, and physics or algebra is not. Not that anything is wrong with that, that is not, but why should I devalue my time that's going to take, that I love doing, that I am mandated to do because I have a scholarship, and then but I have to go to physics or trigonometry? Now, somebody may argue about how that can relate to sports, and they got a point, but then that's sports physics or sports trigonometry. Make a class for that shit. Teach them how that equates to what they're doing. So then they can start learning how to be better. Start teaching coaching programs, because all of these kids are not going to make it to college. I mean, they're not going to make it to the pros, not to the D leagues. But guess what? They can go back to their schools and their towns and be coaches and certified. This is because these are the types of people that we're going to need if we're trying to right the wrong of 400 years of bullshit. So we have to think outside the box, and we have to think long term. And shout out to my man Wendell Scott, because he was talking about education, you know, you know, and that's just, when we talk about reparations, but all across the board, like this, all the shit that I'm talking about, to me, all of this is reparations, you know, and I'm gonna look out and try to see if there's a reparation list, and like I'm gonna throw that shit out there. Why not? You know, because and I'm gonna throw out there the Secretary of African American. Why not? Somebody, I probably somebody already said that shit, but I said it first because I said it first. You know, this is actually some decent clearance beer. You can taste the raspberry and the blueberry, but it's not fruity. It's like a nice. Uh, it would be like if Lina Kugel made it. It's a microbrewery here in Wisconsin. No, I think they're national now because is really Miller, who well is Miller Cool Molson. They're about to lose their name too. So, all right, there's some other things in the news that I want to kind of discuss and give my opinion on and everything. This is Rockett Rants here on the Bils podcast. Please click like, subscribe, share, comment. You know, I appreciate all, all and any. And one of the things that we're trying to do here is we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. That's our goal. So if you see me, I'm going to talk about the Bill podcast. If you run across this episode, please click like, subscribe, comment, and tell somebody because I think I'm funny. And it's Friday and I think I'm funny. So let's see here. We're going to go up here because there's some things I shared on my Facebook page. Oh man, here go a throwback of me with the wild joint here for Halloween. Yeah, that's all right. That's when I was a little bit more social here and everything. Oh, this is crazy. Well, this is what? No. It's just a shout out. It said Black-owned Dallas restaurant reserved Monday to serve the homeless. And shout out. Definitely shout out to her because I think that's one of the things that we're missing is just an act of kindness. Now, I'm a solution provider. I'm always trying to think and solve problems. That's why I don't sleep most nights. But I always thought like, why are people homeless? And it's like but the data that is downloading, you see like some people want to be homeless. Some people choose to be because of the military and war and just and some people in homeless, but homeless is like now homeless is like if you got like 5 people in one room, that's considered to be homeless. That was most of Black American. Like, come on now, like what y'all talking about? It's like now you wake up one day and the definition is no longer the definition because homeless is homeless. But that if you was 5 in a house in one room, that's just Poe. There's a difference, But hey, what do I know? I just see things differently, Oh, here's one of the things, and said Black women are the most educated group in the U.S. I already knew that. Definitely shout out to all the Black educated women and those that are seeking to educate themselves. But the pay, we're gonna have to do better on that. We're gonna have to do better on that, like I do, like I'm the one that's cutting the check. Nope. So let's see what you know. No, that's cute right there. Let's see here. Do. You know what? Where's my phone at here? Because this operates much better here. Forgive me, but okay. So I have deliberately stayed away from that Trump impeachment. I know we talk about Trump a lot on the show and everything, but I have to be honest. Sometimes you just have to step away from Trump and his shit because that shit can be depressing. I mean, when you look at like everywhere you go, people are affected by Trump. It is like the dude is a virus. It's like, damn, how we get rid of Trump? How we get rid of Trump? Oh, we got this antivirus called impeachment. Oh, no, Norton's coming out with something that's called voting. And then it's like, oh, okay, what program we're gonna run? We're gonna run, Beto O'Rourke. No, we're gonna run Camila Harris. No, Biden is the best one. Biden virus protection doesn't work. It goes to sleep. Then we got the Bernie virus protection program. Nope, don't stand up. But we got one that I'm all in, and I run that, and that's my man Andrew Yang. This dude to me, he's solid. He just his practicality, his education. Oh, I got to do better on that one too. I'm just leaning back. I'm at home, people. It's Friday. Got a beer. I apologize. I don't mean anything by it, but I'm just trying to get comfortable with everybody. It's the Rockett Rant. I think I'm louder than a microphone anyway. But I like the looks. I like the aesthetics. I'm a aesthetic pleasing person. But yeah, back to Andrew Yang. I just like his concept because it's practical, and I think about what should be and not versus what should not. I don't think about everybody. I do think about everybody. I think about my sisters and brothers that coming that ain't got no place to go. But then they got $1,000 to pool together. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that people are not missing. That $1,000 that you get, that you can flip that and do something with. Because when you think about one of the scariest things for Black people, it should be automation. Because we're always LIFO. That's an accounting term. You're last in, you're first out. But if we have $1,000, we can create our own shit, just like we did. See, the one thing, just like we did with Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Rosewood, Black Hollywood, Black Chicago, Black Milwaukee, Black Philly, which they bombed. All of these Black places, you know what I'm saying? But they got to keep us like this, because think about when you tie it back to Comcast. Who do you think is the biggest cable users and subscribers? It's the rural area. And who's predominantly in the rural areas? Black folks, or different people of color, or different color Americans, as you will. We subscribe to all of those the things. So all that money that they're making, we have put it in their pocket, including me. This ain't, but I'm just saying. But then they're taking they money that they have earned, that they've took for you, and they're taking a Black man to the Supreme Court to roll back a rule that was put into place to treat you equally and justly and fairly, just so they don't have to do business with them, and that this nigga can never sue them ever again. So they're willing to go to that lengths to take away your rights, and you're not going to even know about it until it's too late. But guess what? Then you're still going to be buying. You're still going to be paying for cable, and you're still going to be watching Comcast. That's how crazy this shit is. So when I think about Andrew Yang, it just makes more sense because I don't want, even a person that's running for president, I don't want them to, say, oh, I'm gonna take care of this, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to keep us informed so we can take care of this as a people. Because I guarantee you, if we cut the cord, if we stop watching anything that's Comcast related, I don't know how hard that is. If we cut our cable subscription, I know how hard that is. But that will send a message. That's our power. That's how we should move to let them know that you trying to fuck with our rights, we're gonna fuck with your money. Leave well enough alone. Go out there and make some money with this black man that's trying to make money with you. Boom. Don't try, that's just seeing. I just like, that's a solution. Show you what you're gonna do with your threat. You're not gonna make money off of us. Nobody's gonna want to watch Comcast if black people, there's no commercials to say, hey, go to Target and buy this laundry detergent, because we ain't watching that. We're the biggest consumers of products, goods, and service, and we're the biggest consumer of entertainment, because we're always trying to plug ourselves up into somebody else's mind frame or lifestyle to go get away from some of the bullshit that we have to endure, just as black people. It's the Rockett Rants, ladies and gentlemen. Please click like, subscribe, comment. You got me here on a Friday. It's a cold Friday. Had to get out in those mean streets. Oh my God, it's so cold. Ooh, but I'm ready this winter. I'm ready. I got a plan, because it's already started. I think we got like 6-7 inches. Cause storm came through, but then it heated up and some melted away. I ain't have to shovel, so but it's cold. It's like, oh, it's trying to like get in my bones. I was like, get out of here. So yeah, that was like, I really would love if black people woke up and we rock with Andrew Yang, because this is the first person that was going to put money in the black folks' hand, even though it's going to put money in everybody's hand. And that's what we fighting for. Let's be honest. All of this shit that we talking about, equality, we really can't go into places, businesses and stuff and demand equal pay. I mean, we can, and we should, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, and they're going to pay you what they want to pay you. And you can fuss and everything and make that, and you're just going to make that shit difficult or get fired, and that's just how it is. I'm not saying that they're right, but I'm just telling you how it is. To me, they're wrong, but it's they shit. They're going to run it. My mama was wrong a lot of days. I got my ass whooped still. I'm still here. Shout out to my mom. I love you. And, my grandmother too. She whooped my ass too. I wasn't that bad, but they were wrong a lot. But I still love it. Anyway, but this is, we talk about equality. What is the one thing that would be equal? It's like, everybody don't want to drink, but I don't know not one person that's going to turn away money. Because even if they're like, no, I don't want that money, they can always slide that money to a good cause. They can donate it to Red Cross charity, whatever. But it's going to stimulate the economy. And this is what people don't understand. And what is going to stimulate the economy is going to grow the business. And what's going to grow the business is going to create more jobs and more product. It's going to force more innovation. But it's also going to force, it's going to be a lack of excuse for Black people to pull together. You know, to pull their resources together to invest, to create. You know, you can get 100 people say, hey, give me your 1,000 this month. I will give you my 1,000 next month. 100 people that you know. You go right here on Facebook. This is just shit. I'm tripping. It's Rockett's Rant. But even though 100 people, that's $100,000. You can go and buy your house straight cash, just like that. And then just give that 1,000 back. Oh shit. Yeah, everybody give you 1,000. But then, you know, you'll be paying your 1,000 back for 100 months, which is what? Okay. It's probably like 8 years, 9 years. Close enough. Anyway, but shit, it may work. I don't know. I'm tripping. But it's some people like, hey, I'll just give you my 1,000 because guess what? I got another 1,000 coming and I want to see your house. How dope is that? Talk about that. Talk about 6 months of tapping into your friends and resources and everybody giving you 1,000 so you can either go out and buy your car, help your kids pay through college. It's unlimited economic resources that we can pull together. And guess what? You tricking off $1,000, giving it away, because guess what? First 1,000 I get, I'll probably trick it off. Maybe a golf bag, you know, maybe some electronic shit. I don't know. Maybe get an iPad Pro. But next month or the month after, I'm gonna be looking like where can I park this money? Where do it really need to go? Paying some bills, got to get the kids some stuff. Oh, take a vacation. Unlimited possibilities. And I'm talking about common sense practicality because the automation, which most Black people jobs will be threatened by automated. Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? Shout out to my boy Andrew Yang. I'm definitely behind his shit 100%. You know, everybody else is very second to none because they're not talking. You know, they're not talking to the American people. They're talking at us, and they're talking to tell us to be scared of Trump. It's like, dude, I don't see no daylight between Trump, Obama, and Clinton. In my on the ground level experience. Now, yeah, I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Obama. But you can't threaten. I need some water. But you can't threaten us about Trump when we are already living in it and we're struggling and everything. And the person that's campaigning is not giving us shit. Except my boy Andrew Yang, who's throwing up that $1,000. Bang. Let's get it. I ain't all about the money, but I'm gonna take it. Because there's other things that he just has a lot of solutions. You know, and I have to get more into them and everything. Probably one of the things I want to create is a podcast, Black Politics. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'm giving the game away. Shut your mouth. All right, Rocky, shut up. Let's get back to this news here. Let's see. Beto O'Rourke ends his presidency. Yes. Beto O'Rourke, he'll make a nice vice president. He has the look. You know, he'll tell all the white liberals, you know, keep them calm so they don't trip. You know, and when I say white liberals, I really mean when Andrew Yang win president. That's I'm just putting it out there in the atmosphere because I'm cool with it. You know. Let's see here. Oh, what? No, I'm not gonna go there. This is why we need to edit. Just saying. Oh, Michelle Obama gave a speech on white flight. I thought that was very very interesting, very poetic. Is just saying that they're running for us, they're running away from us, you know. And it was, and just how they talked about it was just something that was like the reason that you're running is just because the color of our skin and the texture of our hair. And it just how she broke it down, it just made it so simple. So I think that was very I think that was very very dope perspective that she provided. Tyler Perry Studios is hosting the 2019 Miss Universe pageant. I think the Miss Universe pageant is sexist. I just do. You know, you got these women up here parading around in these Cinderella-like dresses, saying I can do this trick and I can do this trick, and it's like at the end, what are you doing? You know, I think it's a discredit to the women. You know, shout out to the black-owned construction company that went from broke to billions. That was I like seeing things like that in Facebook. You know how black people achieve, because we got to constantly remind ourselves to unstigmatize and into unmiseducate ourselves, which is really crazy. You know, let's see here. A black woman created the home security system with television surveillance, but she probably didn't get no money. You know, so but these stories are. Hold on. Oh, okay. Thought I saw something about LeVar Burton, but no, we all good. Let's see here. Oh man, the crazy thing is like when I before I start the show, I have like so much shit to talk about. It's just like just run through my head. Now I can't think about shit. It's crazy, and I hate it. That's why I got to write this down. I got to be better at doing that. So there's another checkpoint. Get more educated on the health system. I mean, the legal system. I'm sorry, and start writing shit down. I got my pad over there. I'm gonna start that because Byron Allen, he talked about the four. It was like the 4 Ds that they do, and I have experienced that. So when he broke it down, I was like, God damn, they gotta practice on this shit. I'm like, dude, they be running games like they do like five like triangle offense and shit on you and shit. They just zero in on you. But he had I thought it was a very good interview. But then he also has a interview on thegrio.com. It's broken up into 2 sections. So I think though it just opens your mind, and sometimes, I mean, all the time you need that. So, but you know what, Mr. Rockett's rant, I put in about an hour. I think that's enough of abuse that I've given y'all and everything. So in closing is I always appreciate y'all for rocking with us. I know we've been off in the last couple of weeks and everything. One time we were out of town, and then last week just things just didn't line up. But we're still gonna work and try to get things to be more locked in and everything. I think we may be thinking about not doing it live or doing it live. It doesn't matter, but just record it and then just putting it out there and everything. So We're gonna try to get more better at this. I do appreciate all those subscribers, and if you want something to listen and just realize that how good your life is, turn me on and listen to mine, because this is what I think about. It's the Bils podcast. It's your boy Rockett. Good night.